What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am. And today I've got a story time that was sent in by a subscriber that I've never really talked about before, but basically this dude got scammed by somebody he thought was a friend who was like pretending to be a stock investor, but in reality was just pocketing all the bands. Honestly, the situation I just kind of felt like making a video about because it was crazy to read about, and I felt like it would be a good way to let y'all know that you gotta be careful, bro. Just because somebody kind of sounds like they know what they're talking about doesn't mean you should trust them with money. But before we get into it, be sure to press the like button. Otherwise, no joke, no scam whatsoever, you're gonna get scammed. And that's not very swag. And without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so the main character of this story we're gonna call Tony. And Tony was a freshman in college when all of this went down. He had a job at a pizza place and, you know, worked a lot but was not making a lot of money. Working an hourly job does kind of suck, but it's something that everybody just kind of has to do. You got to start at the bottom of the totem pole. I've worked those jobs, and yeah, it does definitely suck when somebody tells you that like an hour of your time is worth $7.25, but it is what it is. But obviously, when you're working that job, you want to make more money. So Tony started like Googling ways to make more money, just kind of trying to find ways to get money on the side. And everything he saw kind of said that like investing in the stock market was a good way to do it. Obviously, it's been like incredibly popular over the last year for everybody to be investing in the stock market, so you know, he kind of was like, oh, this is a great way to make a bunch of money. And he started doing research on stocks himself and kind of realized that it was very complicated, and to be honest, unless you're like a hedge fund investor or really know what you're doing, you can make money on the stock market, but you're never gonna like quadruple your money in 4 days, you know what I mean? So he started talking to a couple of his friends, and a couple of his friends mentioned that they knew this dude named Dennis, and they introduced him to him, and Dennis starts talking about how he makes all this money on the stock market. He's the best investor ever. He's making like 5% a day. And I'm going to tell you right now, that's total BS, all right? Like, yes, you know, there has been times where I've personally gotten insanely lucky and gotten like 20% in a day, but those are few and far in between. You know, that does not happen on a daily basis. If this dude was averaging 5% a day, he would be like a multi-billionaire. The S&P 500, which is like the 500 biggest companies in America, grows at like 7% a year. So this dude is basically saying he does almost what that does in a year every single day without fail. But you know, he's saying all the buzzwords, he's saying everything that sounds right, so Tony decides to trust him. He's like, wow, this guy really seems like he knows what he's doing. This is a great idea. So he asks if Dennis will invest money for him. And Dennis says, yeah, but you know, I'm gonna take a 10% fee of anything you give me just because of all the hard work that I'm doing. And he also mentions that it's risky. There is a chance that he might lose all of his money, just kind of trying to like cover his butt, you know, just in case the money disappears. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And Tony started off by giving him $1,000 to invest. And that's not like a crazy large amount of money to start investing with. It's a great start, don't get me wrong. But, you know, just to give you guys an idea of how absolutely insane what this guy was promising was, after a week, he would have like $1,200-ish. After a month, you know, he would have $2,600. Okay, that seems reasonable. After a year, though, if he actually could average 5% a day consistently and never failed, it would be like $157 million. So, you know, that's the issue. You might be able to get lucky and get 5% a day, maybe like twice a year. But yeah, if you're actually able to average 5% a day every single day, you're like a billionaire. You have no reason to be taking $1,000 from kids on college campuses. Anyways, he gives him the money, and for about a month, he believes that it's working. He's sending him like these fake statements, kind of showing that his money is growing, kind of showing him that everything's working the way it's supposed to, and he's really, really excited. But after about a month, he ends up damaging his car's transmission. So he's like, crap, bro, I'm gonna need a bunch of money to fix this. He didn't have enough in his savings account. So he goes to Dennis and he's like, hey, can I have $700? You know, at that point, apparently he's got almost $3,000, so he doesn't think it's gonna be a big deal. But Dennis really does not want to give him the money, bro. He's like doing everything he can to avoid actually giving him the money back. And, you know, going back and forth, he's he's like, no, I need my $700. And finally, Dennis is like, fine, but it's gonna take me a couple days to get it for you. And after a few days, Dennis like comes over to his dorm room, gives him the money, acting all pissed off, like it was the most annoying thing in the world. And obviously, Tony is like, well, that's kind of weird, I guess, but you know, he got his money, so he doesn't think anything is too off. But this is the first time that like the red flag started to get raised. He started to be like, maybe something isn't really as it seems, because if this guy's really making all this money, this should be no big deal for him. You know, he's literally like acting like me withdrawing $700 is the end of the world. Anyways, he gets his car fixed and he ends up going down to his hometown like a week later, and he's talking to his dad about everything going on, about work and whatnot. And he starts telling his dad about this Dennis guy and, you know, how he's getting 5% a day, he's already 3x'd his money, blah, 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 blah. And his dad immediately points out, like, yeah, that's definitely too good to be true and something suspect. I would make sure that everything is what he's saying it is, because that's not possible. His dad just had more experience. It wasn't even like his dad was a stock trader or anything. Just over the years of, like, having a 401k, he realized that there was absolutely no way that this kid was telling the truth. But Tony ends up getting, like, super defensive of Dennis, you know, saying that he's not stupid enough to get scammed. This guy's a genius. His dad's just jealous because, you know, he never was in a position to make all this money. He's getting really, really defensive about the fact that his dad is even insinuating he could get scammed. And listen, dude, I understand getting defensive, like not wanting to admit that somebody pulled one over on you. But if your dad is honestly just telling you, like, this doesn't seem right, that's definitely not the worst thing in the world, okay? Like, it's okay. You can admit that you were dumb to your dad. I promise you, he's seen you do stupider things. If he's your dad, he's watched you crap your pants. That's a pretty stupid thing to do. And honestly, it's not even that embarrassing to be getting scammed in these types of situations. Like, Bernie Madoff literally stole billions of dollars from millionaires that knew what they were talking about with money. It's not like it's that bad. Like, okay, obviously it's not good. You should stop it once you realize you're getting scammed. But it's not like you're an idiot that can never be redeemed again. This happens to people. But at that point, you know, he gets defensive, he leaves his parents' house, but the wheels are turning, and he decides that when he gets back to college, he's gonna have to ask Dennis what's going on, seeing the accounts, how it works, just like make sure everything is actually doing what he says it. And he texts him and kind of like starts asking questions, and Dennis is just super dismissive of it. He's like, bro, I'm super busy right now, dude. I've got a lot going on. I really don't have time for this. You have time to take his money. You don't have time to show him that your money is safe, though. You know, he just starts like being really weird. And before this, he's been incredibly nice, super responsive, but now that he's asking questions, I'm not cool with that anymore. And he ends up like sending another text kind of being like, I need you to give me a date on when you're going to show me everything. You being busy doesn't matter. I have to see everything. And he never ever got a reply again, dude. It was as if, you know, the guy just blocked everybody. So he tells his friends that are still at the school that had also given him money and told him about the guy in the first place. And obviously they start kind of freaking out, realizing that they might have also been scammed, and they had given a lot more money than Tony did. So they're kind of like, oh my God, if this guy's a scammer, then I might really be screwed here. And they immediately like go to his dorm room to see if anything's going on. All right, guys, I'm gonna interrupt the video for just 1 second. On screen now is actually a Roblox gift card. I give away a gift card in every single video I post here on this channel as a way to just say thank you to you guys for being subscribed and watching the videos. So, you know, if you appreciate the gift card, subscribe, turn on notifications. And if you already have those on, then big thank you, you're an absolute god, and yeah, I'll shut up and get back to the video, thanks. Anyways, when they go over and they knock on the apartment door, nobody answers, so they start knocking harder, and one of Dennis's roommate kind of like opens the door and is kind of confused, and obviously the guys start asking for Dennis, and the confusion increases even more. And he kind of explains that, like, Dennis had literally, like, just left. He had packed up all of his stuff, said that he was dropping out of school and going back home, and then just, like, dipped with all of his stuff. He had literally, like, moved out in a hurry. Once he realized that this guy wasn't gonna let it slide and, like, was gonna demand to actually see everything, he knew the game was up, so he just dipped, bro. Literally just cut his losses and dipped. All in all, I guess amongst everybody that he had like scammed, he ended up getting like $30,000. And don't get me wrong, that's a lot of money. Like, that's a lot of money. But I feel like that's not like drop out of college, have to be on the run for a while, have to leave your life behind and like screw over all your friends' money. You know, definitely not the brightest scammer to also scam people that know who you are, like your full legal name and everything too. Oh, yeah, they'll never find me. I just went back home. Like, bro, you had some of them added on Facebook. Just definitely didn't think this through. And he ended up getting to the airport and getting back home before like anyone really knew what was up. And at that point, he was across the country, so they did end up report it to the police. But unless he was like dumb enough to come back to the school or come back to the state, like they kind of were like, yeah, chances are there's not really gonna be too much done about it. Which is super wild to me, bro. Like, whatever. He's just went home, man. He's just vibing. What's crazier, though, is that it's not like this guy just did all that and then disappeared. He had the balls to actually reach out a few months later and try to, like, explain what had happened to everybody. Obviously, everyone knew what had happened, but he came up with the excuse that he had actually been investing it the entire time. He had just made some bad investments and lost it all and didn't know how to tell them. And, you know, a couple of the people who were, like, kind of trying to at least hear him out ended up saying, if that's true, then, like, send us the transactions of your bad trades. Like, send us you losing the money. And at that point, he said, like, he was too embarrassed to log back into the account and he just wasn't going to be able to do that. So obviously, at that point, everyone's like, nah, he had just taken the money and spent it from the very beginning. He had never even tried to invest it, bro. Honestly, he probably didn't even have a brokerage account. It was just in his bank account. He's like, whatever, I'm just doing my thing. Even then, bro, if you had made bad investments, there would still have been something left, like just a little bit of something, unless you literally like had purposely done a strategy that makes you lose all of your money if you mess up. You would have been able to recoup some value unless you're like an idiot. So obviously that was just cap, but surprisingly, like nothing ever really came of it. No one ever really hunted him down because he had spent like 30 grand spread out against a bunch of people. Nobody really wanted to like chase him down states away and go through all the hassle for, you know, the 2-3 grand that they had given him. So honestly, the dude kind of got away with it, which is wild to me, bro. Like, he still hasn't ever been back to that state, and he probably shouldn't go back there because it's still in the reports there. But yeah, this dude basically like did a little Ponzi scheme on the people that he went to college with, and then when he got caught, just cut his losses and moved home. Hey mom, sorry that I had to drop out of college. You wouldn't understand. I tried to run a Ponzi scheme. You know, you've ever done that before? And they're like, no, I've never done that before, ever. Well, maybe you should. It's a lot of fun. Like, come on, dude. I also love that he said he made bad investments. You know, usually that would be like screenshots of him picking a bad like stock right before it crashes. He probably just invested it in cocaine, let's be honest here. He was like, you know, I'm gonna invest it in having a good time so that way I can think better about what to invest in tomorrow. But the one positive about this though is that Tony did end up learning about investing after it. Like after he got scammed, he decided he didn't want to get scammed again, so he just learned about it. Which is honestly what I can say to a lot of you guys. Like I don't get a lot of comments. I do see some though, like, oh, how do I make money? How do I do this? I'll tell you this, bro. Learn it yourself. Don't just trust somebody that's telling you stuff that's too good to be true. And even then, be realistic with what people are telling you, bro. You're never gonna be able to turn $1,000 into $3 million in 2 years by like Forex trading. Anyone that's telling you that you're gonna be able to just print money out of thin air with absolutely no hard work or anything is just lying to you. So be careful, don't get scammed, especially if it's somebody that's willing to just like, I don't know, drop out of college, waste tens of thousands of dollars and leave. Anyways, guys, I think that's going to do it for the video, though. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, I would really appreciate you taking a second to press the like button. Let me know in the comments section down below what you thought of the video, and as always, if you don't know what to comment, go ahead and comment the word turd, which is what I did to this guy who griefed me. He blew up my cargo. It's so sad. Anyways, guys, other than that, I did end up putting a few of my older story times up on Spotify because I had been getting comments saying that you guys wanted them up on there. So if you want to check those out, I ended up putting a link to it in the description, so go check that out. And also in the description is a link to the merch, which is pretty fantastic. You should go cop it if you haven't yet. And last but certainly not least, if you use code SCRUBBY at the G Fuel checkout, you get yourself a hefty discount. Helps me out, helps you out, everyone's a winner. But yeah, on that note, that's everything I got to plug. Thank you so much to everybody who watches the videos, notification, has ever liked, commented, all that good stuff. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot, and hopefully I will see you guys all next time with another video. I'm out. Peace. Ba-da-ba-ba. McDonald's.